Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds. And here with me today, I have a diamond in the rough, a kicker. His name is Jose Romo Martinez. He's from Florida A&M. Nice to see you, sir.
Thank you for having me.
So, yeah, I mean, I gotta interview some specialists from time to time, and who we have here is actually one of, if not the best kicker in FCS or HBCU, and a lot of guys really got a chance to see you up close in person at the Legacy Bowl recently. But before we get to talking more about all those things, uh, give me a sense of you and your story, buddy. Tell me where you're from and kind of get us up to speed.
Yeah, so I was born and raised in California, small town. It's Banning, California, and I grew up with a brother. We're actually the same age, so he's 24. I just turned 24. So, we grew up playing sports. We played soccer, and obviously that's where we got our swing from. It came natural to us. So, started with soccer ever since we were kids. We played volleyball. We got into football in high school. So yeah, that opened doors to us, and both of us ended up attending Delaware State University to on a full ride scholarship to be the punters and the kickers there.
Sweet. So, nice to be able to get that opportunity to play with your brother. I don't know how people feel about that sometimes. I know, at least for me, like, sometimes there's animosity, but you're able to, be teammates, there for the same university. Um, Jose, want to try and fill in the blanks a little bit here because you had mentioned playing some other sports. So, what came first, man? Give me a little bit of that background. So, obviously, you're a lot of people feel like soccer. You get a lot of good kickers out of the soccer, area. So, talk to me about your experience in other sports.
Yeah, definitely. So we started playing soccer. That was our very first sport, and we fell in love with the sport. That was our thing, and in our town, that was really what everybody played. We weren't really into baseball. No, everybody was just into soccer, and that was like what was going around. That was popular at the time. So up until high school, we played soccer every weekend. It was an everyday thing for us. We loved the sport, and once we got to high school, we got introduced to we got the volleyball team. We were the first ones to start the volleyball team, so we liked that too. We participated in that sport, and then football was one of the last sports that we decided to get into, and really it was because the coach seen my brother play on one of the soccer games, so he invited him and he said, "Hey, we need a kicker, and we see that you have a strong leg, so we want you to come try out." And really that's where it all started, and then that led to me coming in playing for JV. Then I got bumped up to varsity, and then next thing you know, I'm playing quarterback for varsity, and I'm playing safety. I'm the kicker, punter, and then just went from there. We also did martial arts. We did kung fu growing up, so we got a little bit of everything.
Interesting. So, you think that martial arts training help you with your I don't know if it helps with form or not, or does it help
Really,
at all with
I
you?
I think it does. It really helps with coordination. It really helps with your balance and being aware of really just how your body works and how to control your body. So and I mean obviously it's to show you how to protect yourself and all like that. But for the most part, I feel like it had a great impact in sports, and it helped me become a better athlete.
Interesting. So when those guys are maybe rushing at you or whatever, you just kind of give them a quick karate chop, chop them down.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, of course, a kicker, very successful, by the way. There, for two universities, Delaware State first, and then Florida A&M. Let's talk about your time at Delaware State. So while you were there, give me something about Delaware State. So talk about it for just a little bit.
So Delaware State is in a small town in Dover, Delaware, and really, there's not much to do. It's a closed university. It's private, and it's not much to do. So really, all you have to do is you can just go to school, go play football, and you're back at your dorm. That's really all you can do. And either you're at the library or at the cafeteria. It's not really much to do, if I'm being honest. So really when I made the move to transition over to Delaware, it was pretty tough because in California we have a lot of things to do. Usually active, I'm always outside, so going to Delaware, making that change really impacted me, but it allowed me to become more focused and really practice on my craft and perfect it, you know. So I feel like that really helped me improve my game and keep focused and stay disciplined with what I got going on. So yeah, so it was just me, my brother out there, and he's very supportive. So he was playing punter, I was a kicker, and he kicked as well, so he knew. Really, I loved it because he would help me, he would correct me, and then I would correct him. And one thing about kickers is sometimes you won't you won't know what's going on. You need, another pair of eyes to see you and make corrections, and you yourself think you're doing it correctly, but you just need, someone else to give you that feedback. And I loved it because my brother knew everything about me. He's the one that trained me, and obviously I learned from him. So we would correct each other, and on the field it was, I loved it, and being a teammate with him was just, a great memory of mine.
Well, I do feel like as a specialist, all you guys need to have a great relationship so that you're a well-functioning oiled unit, where you guys can get everything done as precisely and effectively, obviously, as you possibly can. That being the the long snapper, the holder, and things of that nature, the punter. Um, so obviously you speak of your brother, who I'm assuming he was your holder, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So what about the guy in front of you that's snapping you the ball? Let's give that guy a little bit of love.
So his name was Michael Dunham. He came in with me, and he was only there for about 2 seasons. He didn't go through with football. He decided to transfer out, but I mean, he had it was a tough time for him, so he just decided to go home. But I mean, he was a great long snapper. Actually, what's funny is that he trains my long snapper here, so they're part of the same program, the same training coach, and he knows my long snapper here at Florida A&M very personally.
Nice. Well, I mean, again, I mean, being able to have that relationship, I think, you got to have that tight knit group, so that everyone's on the same page. Um, so anyhow, kind of want to talk to you about this whole kicker business. So first off, when you're a little kid, I think very few guys actually say, "Hey, I'm going to grow up and be a kicker," right? Like, when you're a little kid, did that go through your brain, or were you like, "Hey, man, I'm gonna be a soccer player"? I mean, what was going through your head as a little kid?
No, yeah. So growing up, no, it was all about soccer. I I didn't even look if there was a football game going on the TV, I would not look at it because I thought it was boring. Just because I didn't understand the game, I didn't know how it went. And even up until I played football, I didn't know much about it. I didn't know what a first down was. I didn't know, stuff like that. I just knew that if you scored, you get a touchdown. PAT is 1 point, field goal is three. But I didn't know all the rules. I didn't know, the simple fact of what a first down is, I didn't know the chains and stuff like that. So I was never really interested in football just because I didn't understand it. But once I got introduced to the sport through kicking, that allowed me to learn the sport little by little, and then obviously I ended up being a quarterback, and I played defense. I mean, I played a safety, and then kicking was just natural to me. So my coaches were trying to use me in different areas.
Interesting. Let's look at the kicker position. I mean, I think a lot of fans don't pay too much attention to it, but I mean, if certainly a person who's pursuing the professional level, you're studying that position, trying to better yourself as best as you possibly can. In your opinion, give me some of the key attributes of an elite kicker.
To become an elite kicker, you have to have the right mentality. You have to always be positive and confident. I think that's a critical for a kicker. If you yourself believe that you can't make a kick, then it's not gonna go your way. Really paying attention to details. Working uh, and building that relationship with your holder and your long snapper. Having those traits is critical when it comes to kicking. Like, because obviously the whole operation has to be within a couple seconds, maybe less than a second, and really you just got to be pay attention to the details, be focused, and um, pay attention to like I said, the small details.
Gotcha. Who do you think's doing it at the top level these days in the NFL? You have anybody that you would say holds that distinction?
I look at all the kickers. I really believe that everybody has their own unique way of kicking, and everybody approaches every kick differently. And I like, for example, when I go home and train with a couple pro athletes, I like to ask them, hey, so what's your process, or what goes through your head when you kick? So I like learning, and everybody has their own way of kicking, and really I just try to pick something from everybody and try to see if it helps me in any way, and it has, and I believe that there's a lot of kickers that really the most of it is just having that positive mentality. And one of my kicking coaches, Nick Novak, who's down in San Diego, he helped me a lot. I've met with him only a couple times. I've trained with him a couple times, but I mean he's the one that's made a huge impact in my kicking game. So, and really, all it was is just about mentality, having the right mindset, and approaching the ball correctly. It wasn't really much. There's technique to it and everything, but really it's all mindset.
You mentioned Nick Novak there for people who don't know. I mean, obviously he had played the game, and I swear he was probably on several different teams as the kicker. And so you got to learn something along the way to instill on up and comers like yourself. So great. So give me a feel for your day to day, like as a kicker. I mean, because people don't always understand what's going on, like like what your training is like. So, give me at least some, I don't know, some of your day to day, some of your routine as you try and better yourself.
Yeah, so one thing I like to focus on is just being consistent, being disciplined throughout the week. I don't like taking more than 3 days off of kicking because it really just throws you off. You have to have a routine, and I like to kick at least 3 to 4 times a week. And during season, it's obviously you get more kicks in, but off season you got to take it a little easier. But really, my day starts. I like going to the gym. I have classes throughout the day, so like today, for example, I went to the gym this morning, um, and then I had class. And right after class, I went to go to the field, get some kicks in, and then some band work, and then really I just got here and you stretch. Obviously, you stretch at my training session, and then I come home, eat, really just get some homework done, and then I have classes again, and then at night really is just I try to do more recovery and then just homework. So it's a busy day.
And it's just kind of repeat over and over and over. So, um, interesting. Obviously, you had mentioned getting into the gym. For a guy who's a kicker, what's your favorite thing to do in the gym, man? Is you have a favorite lift or something you want to share?
So I like hitting everything. I'm more of an upper body guy. I like doing upper body. But when it comes to kicking also has its own exercises. But I like to focus more on band work, which is really more of my hip flexors and stuff like that. So um, towards kicking, I don't really do much. I work on my speed. I do exercises as far as speed, single leg work and stuff like that. Toward that help towards my kicking, and it'll help my strength and stuff like that.
And
And a
as
lot
far,
of
go ahead.
a lot of also a lot of to prevent injuries, stuff like that. So I learned a lot of from my strength and conditioning coach at Delaware State and the one here at FAMU too. Um, and I still incorporate those lifts that prevent injuries into my lifts nowadays. So I like to do that at least 2, 3 times a week.
Okay. And as far as your kicking goes, because obviously that's what you do, you got to get in so many kicks a day, right? So, um, when you think about some of the drills that you do as a kicker, using your feet, what's your favorite thing to do to that you feel helps you the best?
Really, it's just breaking down the kick. I like taking no steppers, one steppers, and I feel like those really help you get that contact that you want on the football. So it's really just breaking down instead of taking 3 step approaches to the ball. And I warm up with no steppers or a one stepper, which it really helps you focus on hitting the right spot on the ball, the sweet spot, and obviously it translates over to your full operation. As far as punting, because I also punted. Likewise, it's just a one stepper and really just focusing on the sweet spot. I also like doing accuracy drills, which is like setting the ball next on the sideline and trying to hit the pole or one small target, and that helps with my accuracy and being precise.
Nice. What about the things that you can't control? Is there something that you do in order to train yourself for that? When I say that, it's more so obviously at times during games, like the uh the worst thing can happen, like the weather sucks, it's raining, or maybe you were out there on a kickoff and there's a kick returner coming your way. You're like, I gotta do something. So how do you train for those things?
It really is just. I mean, I try not to think about it when I go into a kick. Obviously, I'm going in with a positive mindset, but for kickers and punters, we don't like wind. We don't like when the wind is blowing too heavy, and but it's something that we have to work with. So as far as that, the way I approach it is, for example, today it was windy towards one side, but I like warming up into the wind, which is the harder part, just so that you can focus and get your mind right when going into the wind. Obviously, it's not going to result the best, but it prepares you. And then once you get into training, then you switch sides and you go with the wind. But I like taking the hard way first, and because it makes you better. It helps you focus more and it helps you prepare better for you never know. Sometimes in the game you have to kick into the wind and you just have to deal with it. You have to do whatever it takes to help the team.
Well, yeah, I mean, and you got to make sure that I don't know, you're comfortable with those harder situational type things, Great. So, Jose, you put together a fairly solid resume at both institutions. At least per my notes, you're a two-time All SWAC first team, which is great. And then after your time in college was over, you had an opportunity to go out to the HBCU Legacy Bowl. Um, Talk about that week for you and what you were doing. Give me at least some highlights of that week.
Yeah, so that week was very fun. It was in New Orleans, so me and my punter got invited along with our receiver and one of our running backs. But it was fun. It was exciting. And it's really cool that when you walk into a room and people know who you are, and people know your name. So the coaches from other universities, some of them were our rivals, and oh, I know you. Like you're the kicker from FAMU, and it feels good. It feels good to know that people respect you, know your name, and approach you in a positive way. They're supportive as well. Even though they go to a different university, they're supportive, and I love the atmosphere there at the HBCU Legacy Bowl. Um, we got exposed. We also had the combine, the HBCU combine, which we had scouts there evaluating us, and we got a couple kicks in. So that was fun. It's just another opportunity really to showcase our skills. But overall, the HBCU combine, it was we looked at it more like let's go have fun. We get another try, another opportunity to suit up and kick and really just perform, have another game. So me and my punter were really just let's go out there and just have fun. Obviously we take it serious, but really our mentality was just like we get to hear up one more time, and we're grateful for that. So But overall, the experience was great. I loved it. I wish it was a little longer and everything because the week went by fast. We did a lot of things, but the game was fun and the practices were fun too. So, and I met a lot of great people, a lot of important people, and I think I performed pretty well in practice. That might have impressed a couple scouts and GMs.
Cool. During your time there, I mean, were you able to uh do any interviews?
Yes, I was able to talk to a couple scouts. Um, really just they were just trying to get to know me, who I am, because some of the information online is actually not accurate. Some of my stats are not uh, correct, so I try to get that. I'm trying to get that fixed still. Some of my stats in Delaware are not even showing, so that's a disadvantage I have right now. So I'm trying to work on that. But really just updating my profile with them and getting to know the scouts and sharing my story.
Gotcha. So ballpark, like how many teams did you maybe talk to?
About four teams.
Okay. Well, that's solid. I mean, dude, as a specialist, I mean, talking to one guy is good. I mean, talking to
Okay.
four is pretty sweet. So, great. And I guess one of the stats I think a lot of people don't get very accurately is your size. So, drop that real quick, man. What's your current height and weight these days?
I was during season I was a little heavier. I was around like 215, 6'1", and right now I'm currently trying to drop just because I want to you know be at my best shape. But right now I'm currently at 205, 6'1".
So 6'1", 205. That's pretty decent size for a safety. I mean, kicker. Um, Sorry, I had to throw that in there. I thought that was fun because I know you were a safety at one point. So,
Yeah.
but anyhow, yeah, I mean, pretty decent size. Usually, you get these teeny tiny guys that are kickers that go out there and do a fantastic job, but occasionally you get a guy who's got some meat on his bones. So, how do you feel about being that guy who could maybe I don't know, lay into somebody a little bit on a tackle, a la Pat McAfee. How does that
No,
come
it feels,
over?
it feels great. I've had a couple tackles on kickoffs, so it feels good. But as a kicker, like it just feels like I'm part of the team. I'm up there with the guys. Like when we're in the weight room and I'm able to put some weight or more weight than the receivers and safeties, and it feels good. It just feels like, oh, I'm part of the team. I don't feel like a small kid or a small teammate. So it just helps feel a little more comfortable and just use it to my advantage in, as far as kicking.
Great. Jose, I know you've had a lot of great moments, when you look at the entirety of your career. Is there one of those kicks that's like the most special for you that you can share with me?
There's so many kicks. Honestly, if I'm being honest with you, I don't remember every single one of them. But
That's a good
it,
thing because you
it,
need
that,
you need that as a kicker, quite honestly.
the thing, really, I think the only one that I remember the most would be one of my longest field goals because every other kick I approach them the same. Like I don't think of them. Sometimes when I go out there and kick, I don't even look at the yardage. Like I don't try to think about it because I just want to approach the kick like it's a PAT. So that's helped me in the long run. But I guess I would have to say the 51 yarder, which is my longest one. And really, it was more like I didn't even know it was a 51 yarder when I went out there. So, and after realizing, oh, it was a 51, you're 1 yard away from the record. Oh, okay. Like I remember now, just because I'm close to the record. So now I'm trying to beat the record. And, but really, mostly that one. But if anything, the most memorable game was against Bethune Cookman, which is a game where I got hurt and then I needed to go in and kick off, and then we got a penalty, and then we scored, and then we had a kickoff as well again, and then it was like three consecutive kickoffs within 10 minutes, and it was a memorable game. So I think that game was probably the most fun, but I don't really remember the kicks. I remember more celebrating with the team rather than my kicks because it's not really just about me; it's really about the team.
Right, right. I get that. Um, All right, let's dive off of the football field for just a second. Jose, is there anything about you that you feel people need to know other than being a football player? I mean, I see the Bass Pro Shop hat. Are you an avid fisherman or what?
So no, so this hat was given to me. It was a gift, and my 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 teammate does a lot of fishing, so he goes to Bass Pro Shop a lot, and he gave it to me. So I've been hanging out with him a lot, but I love doing it. I'm actually I've been begging him to take me fishing with him, but I haven't been able to. So no, really, I'm more of a I'm always studying. If I'm being honest, I'm working on my second master's now, and really football has allowed me to be in this position. So um, I
Well,
think that's rare. I think that's rare to for a student athlete to be working on a second master's is it's not really heard of nowadays. You know.
so what is that? I mean, what have you done academically?
So the thing is, I when I came in to college, I already had college credits, so I graduated early with my bachelor's in Delaware, and that allowed me to enter the transfer portal with 2 years of eligibility. My first year here last year, I was able to complete one master's in public administration, and then now I'm working on my MBA. So that's another year program. So I'm almost done with it. So
Awesome. That's great to be able to, at the very least, have that under your belt, to be able to use that, maybe sometime down the line. But obviously, right now, you're trying to pursue the professional ranks of football. So, um, you you have a pro day coming up. When? When is that happening?
it's coming up next week, either Thursday or Friday. So it's coming up
Great.
pretty.
So as you approach that, I mean, hopefully be able to go out there and really perform well in front of these scouts. I do want to close up our time by giving you an opportunity to talk to all those scouts out there, man. Tell them why they need to give you an opportunity, bring you into their team. Go ahead and give them your pitch as to why you'd be a great asset to their team.
No, I think I can contribute to the team's success in many ways. I've proven that I can perform, you know, at the highest level. I can, I'm able to do all three kicks, and if I can help the team with, field goals, punts, or kickoffs, whatever it is, and I'm with it. I know that I've been able to. Some of my coaches have asked me, "Hey, can you do this punt?" Even though I'm here for kicking, I kind of it's just being able to do all three kicks and perform really well. I think that's a really good thing, and just a disciplined individual who's motivated, and anywhere I go, I'm competitive. So if you put someone next to me, I'm trying to beat you. Like it's just natural to me to be competitive, and I think I deserve a shot to really showcase myself at the next level.
Well, Jose, we just kind of want to wish you all the best in your endeavors. I mean, you've been able to accomplish a lot over your college career. Some great time at two separate institutions, being an all-conference athlete, obtaining a couple of degrees, really going and doing a fantastic job at the Legacy Bowl and now it's all a matter of finding that one scout that'll fall in love with you and give you the opportunity. So hopefully you get that. All right.
God willing, yes, sir.
All right. Again, we got with us Jose Romo Martinez, a kicker out of Florida A&M. Check this guy out.